Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. And in this update, we are going to check out Ethereum Classic's price chart. And if you remember, the last time that we were on ETC's chart, we were actually right around this area. And we said we are able to identify some optimistic signs. And for example, maybe in terms of Elliott waves, this is going to be 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5 into a larger degree wave 3 correction for another move up into wave 5. But we said let's be a bit more patient and careful and see, are we going to get a very strong move up in an impulsive manner in order to especially take this important high around $21.5. I guess that can be at that point an optimistic sign suggesting maybe we are going according to this bullish track. And unfortunately, the market had a very different thing in mind, and the structures in here are complicated, but not necessarily in a good way. Now, if I really want to be optimistic and want to call this point our final low, I guess I can. Why? Because, see, this is definitely, in my view, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up. So you might say, well, okay, look, this is an ABC down, and soon we're going to have a massive bounce because this can be on a higher degree of wave 1, correction for 2. And what's next? Good move up into wave 3, 4, 5. Yes, you are allowed to argue that. However, maybe that shouldn't be our primary scenario. Why is that? Number one, as you can see, we are having a strong move down followed by a very weak pullback, and this suggests probably the next move down in ETC that we are going to get soon is actually going to be a deep one, which, and well, if it is going to be that deep, we are going to take the lows and the 1-2 scenario is going to get invalidated. Reason number two for why we still have to be patient actually comes down to Elliott's waves, and now I'm going to argue, you know what, sure, this is a 5 wave on the upside. However, it may not be into a wave 1, and instead you can argue this is an A, B, C down. Before that, this is an A, B, C on the upside, maybe in form of a flat, and this is a 5 wave up. And well, if you are a regular viewer of the channel, you know what I'm about to say. These might be unfortunately the subwaves for an ABC running flat, which by itself is not necessarily an optimistic sign because it does suggest that bears are indeed quite powerful in this phase, and odds are our move down in Ethereum Classic is going to continue. Believe it or not, from the previous video to now, my opinion has changed that much since we got these structures and not necessarily the move down itself. Okay, if you go back and watch where we were in the previous update, I think we were around here, and since then we only got on net about like a 2% move on the downside, and that's like nothing. However, the structures in here suggest that maybe something bigger is coming for ETC, and let's just go on 30-minute time frame and watch what is going on in terms of indicators. So here is the deal. You see, in RSI at the moment, we are around the neutral zone, but I think we are probably going to continue this move down, and as long as we are not reaching to about the oversold area, it's a little bit tough to be optimistic. Now, in MACD, what do we have? As you can see, this is a low, the other one is a lower low, but in here, this is a low, the other one is a higher low, meaning, sure, we are having a bullish divergence, but I'm not really sure if this thing is going to work, and here is a simple way to find out. All eyes at the moment should be on this bullish divergence line right in here, because the moment that we get a break of it, I'm going to say you are probably going to see a decent decline in ETC, maybe like a 5% move in order to take the loss, but we are again going to probably continue our move down a little bit more, and this could very well be your important short-term signal suggesting which scenario may happen, and are we going to, for example, get a very strong bounce back, and at that point, well, okay, odds are we are not going to get a break of this line, or maybe we're going to get a fantastic move down, another 5 to 10% move, and at that point, well, okay, the moment that we get a break of this thing, our move down is going to accelerate. So for now, have your eyes on this thing and see which scenario is going to happen. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in ETC. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.